Well, joining us from The Observers, the France 24 citizen journalist and fact-checking website, is our own Ershad Alajani. Ershad, I want your reaction in a moment to that clip we just heard of Iran's top judge. But first, the U.S. pulling back personnel from bases in the region. It's coupled with the feeling all around that an attack may be imminent.
Yeah, just some seconds ago, I was verifying some Telegram accounts belonging to IRGC or related to Revolutionary Guard that they have their own free access to internet, international internet, and based on the posts on their Telegram channels, it seems that they are embracing for an imminent U.S. attack. What's their sources? Why they think that an U.S. attack is imminent? Maybe they have some information that we don't, or that's because of the news about the U.S. military base in Qatar, or the connections with the contacts who have been made with Hezbollah of Lebanon.
The Reuters news agency reporting that dozens of commercial ships over the past days have now dropped their anchor outside of the territorial waters of Iran. So all around, people are there's this sort of feeling of tension that's building. And we heard, again, in that report, that clip from Iran's top judge hinting strongly that there's going to be a fast tracking of trials and executions. You've been taking a look at footage coming out. Again, the internet is restricted, and that footage, a lot of it is of funerals.
Yeah, as we know, that internet connection is not established in Iran, and the information and the videos that coming in Iran are very limited. And even those images that are coming, they are really hard to verify. What we're seeing mostly comes from official regime, as we see come from the official regime channels, and it largely concerns repression. For example, a court has ordered the confiscation of all assets. That's harsh. All assets belonging to Mohammad Saedinia. Who is he? He's the owner of a Saedinia coffee shop chain in Iran. And why? Because this coffee shop chain announced they are going on a strike in support of the Iranian protesters, and a court ordered confiscation of all of his assets in Iran. It's really harsh, and we are seeing the repeated threats of executions.
Repeated threats of execution, as you say. Connection is spotty, and it seems as though to keep that connection spotty, story you've been following, speaking to sources, is of authorities actually trying to seize Starlink satellite terminals.
As far as I see, again, the source of all of this information are the regime's news agencies. For example, they broadcasted a bunch of dozens of Starlink sets that they have confiscated, and or we still know that there are a heavy jamming on Starlinks. So this warfare against the connection of Iranians to the outside world, it continues for many days now.
And you're still were you able this Wednesday to speak with people inside of Iran?
To be honest, there are still Starlinks which are active in Iran, but people are afraid because there are threats sending via SMS the messages by the regime to people, cell phones, and repeatedly. Bunch of them every day.
So blanket SMS messages sent to the entire population?
The entire population in the cities, as far as I know, at least in Tehran and major cities, and threats people to using, the Starlinks as a described as a tool of espionage or spying or any kind of informing the outside world of what's going on in Iran as an act, describing it as an act of espionage.
All right, those Starlink satellite systems, which since Tuesday appears have been made free for use for citizens inside of Iran, those, as Ershad was saying, brave enough to try to use them. For more, let's go to Oslo and Mahmood Amiry-Moghaddam. He's the director of Iran Human Rights. Thank you for being with us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.
What is your latest death toll, first of all, out from the crackdown?
Yes, unfortunately, it is increasing. Of course, in the recent days, several sources have indicated that it could be thousands, and that's what we also knew. But we have received new information indicating that at least 3,428 people were killed during the protest, and most of them, almost 3,379, were killed after the internet shutdown, most of them on Thursday, Friday. So a massacre has been going on Iranian streets.
Your numbers are very precise. What's your methodology? How did you come to those numbers?
Well, you see, part of these numbers are based on individuals that have been reported that we have managed to confirm through two independent sources. There are some based on sources within the health sector, eyewitness, and some registries within the Ministry of Health. But, these are cases that have been either registered or seen. So probably the numbers are higher, but and they don't include the 120 people that Iranian authorities claim were security forces.
So your numbers are conservative, as you say. You heard Ershad Alajani of France 24 now just saying how his sources, he knows some who have access to Starlink, but are too afraid to use it. How dangerous is it to speak to your sources?
No, it is dangerous. It's very dangerous. Right now, sending information outside Iran and using Starlink, it can be, the individual can be faced with the most serious charges, corruption on earth, which gives death sentence. So, but Iranians inside Iran, they know that the world must know what is going on, because the Islamic Republic is being as brutal as it has been, in 1981. And so their only hope is that the world gets to know what is going on and does something. So that's why I think they take this risk of communicating with us.
They're taking the risk, as you say. What was your reaction on Tuesday, Mahmood Amiry-Moghaddam, when you saw Donald Trump urging Iranians to go out in the streets, to take their institutions, and promising that, quote, help was on its way?
Well, the second part of that, he promised to help, that, of course, gives some hope, because people in Iran are really hoping for some help. We don't need to specify what kind of help, but the fact that the international community does something, that it doesn't stop with the condemnations and resolutions, and actually acts to stop these atrocities. When it comes to people going on the street, Iranians who went on the street, they went there because they are fed up with this regime. It's not based on invitation by this person or that person. And I don't think, If a president outside Iran asks Iranians to go on the street, I don't think they will do it just because they have been asked by the president.
And your thoughts on the possibility, some say probability, of U.S. strikes on Iran? Strike what, and would it help or hurt?
You see, I think any action that happens, it must be within the framework of the international law, and it must be an action by the international community and not one country. And that's why we have stressed this responsibility to protection that we have in international law. If civilian population are in danger of crimes against humanity, international community, it means all countries have a responsibility to provide protection, to do something. So I think what would help is not, it's an action within the international law by a larger part of the world. So that's why we have called on the Security Council to gather and to discuss it. More countries must be involved.
Once again, a reminder, you're stating that your latest conservative estimate is 3,428 killed, almost the entirety of that number since Thursday when the internet was shut down inside of Iran. Ershad Alajani, you were saying there's breaking news again here on this?
Yes, we have an update. We were talking about that it seems regime is embracing for imminent U.S. attack, and there are sources in Iran that says the government has stepped up security measures at the sensitive urban sites in the major cities with armored vehicles and heavy military equipment.
All right, many thanks for that, Ershad. I want to thank again Mahmood Amiry-Moghaddam for being with us from Oslo. We're, of course, continuing to follow that on the Observer's website and on our website, France24.com.